Britain on the brink, exposing the chaos and decline tearing apart modern Britain, one brutal story at a time. In this savage first clip, a Brummie breaks down Birmingham's year-long bin strike. Hell, mountains of rotting rubbish, rats everywhere, and the council's billion-pound disasters.
So Birmingham at the moment is a complete mess, and people are like, what the hell is happening? I've got you. See, for those that are not from the UK, or for those that are in the UK anyway, I'm just going to give you a bit of a backstory before we begin. You're probably voted top 2 for the worst accents behind Bradford, and I can make another video on that, but we're going to focus on this at the moment. At the moment, there's been bin strikes, and basically the bin men, or the garbage men, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to call it bin men because I'm from the UK, they basically said, you know what, I ain't going to do this anymore. They were on strike. They're not going to do it for 10 weeks, and people are probably like, what the hell is happening? Why isn't the council doing anything about it? But you see, they gave them 3 chances. They did this in 2017 because they couldn't afford to pay them. So they had a strike. Then it happened in 2019, and then they had another strike. And now it's happening now because they just can't afford to pay them. And you might think, okay, whatever, they just can't afford to pay them. But they're idiots. And when I talk about idiots, like top 10 idiots, Birmingham City Council makes #1 spot. Like, they're the real rats despite rat infestation because of this problem. And when I say they actually believe they're like Floyd Mayweather there, I'm not joking. First of all, it was actually found that the Birmingham City Council didn't actually like pay their workers fairly. And coincidentally, most of them were actually women. So the Birmingham City Council owe people £760 million. This was all after an equal pay deal. Okay, £760 million. That's a lot of money. But they just got even worse. They spent over £30 million on a software to help with their accountings and tax. Pretty simple, right? Except it completely ruined it. Like, I'm not even kidding. It completely destroyed the whole system. They didn't even know how to use it. Like, it's a software. It's not that hard. I could do it myself. And they didn't know how to use it, so they completely just flew it out of the window. Like the scene from The Office when he throws the computer away. And they ended up just like saying, you know what, we're just going to do it by hand now. Because they ruined the whole system. They have to now account through all the tax, all the money by hand. The money was talking to them more. And they again thought they were Vince McMahon or Floyd Mayweather. So these geniuses decided, we're going to do some good, right? So we're going to give some money to help homeless people, which is called exempt housing, right? So basically it's to help people who are living in rough houses, rough conditions. They work with homeless charities, whatever, right? It's a good thing. Except these doofuses probably came to these people. They're from Birmingham. I don't know who they are. But they probably went to them and said, you know what? We're going to give you £500 million to use this to help the homeless people. So this is what these people did. Not these people. Again, I'm not attacking these people. They're just from Birmingham and they're a meme. You'll find it when you search it online. But anyway, they probably gave it to them and they were like, yeah, that'll do. And I'm like, yeah, that would do. What? People actually thought there was going to be something done with like the homeless crisis. Oh, it would be great. Except they just like used it to invest in venture capital. Yeah, no surprise. They gave it to criminals. Like, how could you fumble that bad? You gave 500 million to criminals. And it was later investigated that they didn't even use it to help any homeless crisis at all. That wasn't even the peak when it comes to this stupid doofus council. Do you know when the geniuses figured out, you know, they didn't know how to use a software to help with their accounting and tax and it completely destroyed everything? Well, for 10 years, they were giving £500 million, £500 million to a pension fund. They overpaid it to their own pension fund. How do you mess up that bad? How do you put too much money in your own council that's meant to be used for retirement? So, what did the council have? They have bankruptcy now. They've wasted all their money. I'm not even kidding. They literally wasted it all. How could you generally mess up this bad? How? Then these people start smelling the money and feel like Vince McMahon again. And they're thinking, how can we make the money back? Well, you know all the rats because of like the bins not being taken out, the garbage still there. So basically you pay them money and they remove the rats, but they won't remove the garbage or anything like that. They'll keep that there, yeah. as a souvenir. I feel really bad for the people there, honestly. They have the worst accents apparently, the worst place to live. It isn't all their fault. It isn't all their fault. So share this with others so they're aware.
Birmingham 2025. Bins on indefinite strike. Rats the size of cats roaming free. Council tax for the luxury of a landfill life. In this clip, one man calls it the end of Britain. Cheers.
If you didn't think that Great Britain had fallen, you will do at the end of this video. I bet many of you haven't heard about the shit show that's going on in Birmingham right now. And for those of you that aren't following me from the UK, maybe over in the States, Birmingham is dead centre of the UK. And this is a sign of what's happening, and it's what's coming to the rest of the UK. Check this shit out. So for those of you that didn't know, the bin men in Birmingham have gone on strike. They're arguing about pay and working standards. Here's an image of a police officer, by the looks of it, allegedly striking one of these bin men. Now, you want to see the streets of Birmingham. I was listening to the radio earlier today, and there was a guy there that goes and gets, it's like rent-a-kill. He gets the rats and things. And he says he doesn't think this is going to end until August or September. Check some images of the streets of Birmingham out. The refuse and bin bags are piling up. The bin men ain't collecting them. People are talking about rats the size of small dogs running around the streets. Here's another image. This is the second capital of the UK. Anything happens to London, Birmingham becomes the capital of the UK. It is a shithole, and there's even more. So, as the weather warms up, things are only going to get worse. There is a real risk that you're going to see some disease and vermin flying through the streets of Birmingham, maybe into other parts of the West Midlands. The councils are charging more council tax. People are getting less services. The bin men are now going on strike because they want more money. And I tell you what, is this the start of the end of Great Britain? What an absolute shower of shit.
Birmingham's week from hell. Bonfire night fireworks as weapons, protests at the footy, neck stabbings and a hit-and-run murder. In this clip, one bloke spots the theme and calls it Britain's new normal. Grim.
4 days last week, 4 major incidents in Birmingham. It's descended into utter chaos. Wednesday was bonfire night, and a very large group of masked, hooded, black girls and boys descended on Birmingham city centre, setting off fireworks at absolutely anybody they found. Elderly people, pedestrians, businesses, people in buses, people in cars, and police officers as well. Incredibly, incredibly dangerous. The thuggery and the lack of respect these men, these girls and boys had for law and order, but also for their fellow people, was frankly off the scale. It was unbelievable, absolutely disgraceful, but not a surprise. Thursday, Europa League game between Aston Villa and Tel Aviv. A large group of Muslim men and women descended on Aston, placing up placards with anti-Jewish hatred, with racism. They were masked, weaponised, and they created protests and rioting. Frankly, we shouldn't see outside a football ground, because it should be about the football, not politics. Now, we all know Tel Aviv fans were banned from this game. They weren't banned because of their behaviour. They were banned because the demographics around Aston are so predominantly Muslim, radical Muslim in many cases as well. The police and others knew there'd be absolute carnage because these people would target the Jewish people. They've already said they would, and that's why these people were banned. So instead of actually banning the bad people, they've banned the innocent party, which pretty much sums up the police in the UK at the moment. I never thought I would see the day when people in Great Britain were allowed to support banned Islamic terror groups and promote anti-Jewish propaganda, and the police watch by doing absolutely nothing. Instead, if they see anybody Jewish, they see anybody Israeli, getting rid of them instead. It's an absolute disgrace, frankly. Friday, a woman was standing just outside Birmingham New Street at the bus stop when she was set upon by, quote, a black male, and she was knifed in the neck. She's in a critical condition. Unprovoked, completely unprovoked. Where that happened, exactly 7 days ago, me and my mum were standing waiting for a bus in that exact spot. But it's not a surprise. That area of Birmingham is an utter shithole. And now yesterday, an incident in Albury in Birmingham, whereby a young girl called Lily Whitehouse, this lady here, had her life ended by a man named Mohammed Azim. Again, potentially unprovoked attack. 4 incidents in 4 days in Birmingham. But are you noticing a theme here? Because so far, all of the things that have happened in these incidents, every single suspect or suspects are not white. Are you noticing a theme as well? This is a running theme in our major cities now. The disproportionate amount of crimes committed by black or Asian, etc. communities is frankly off the scale now. And for some reason people say, well, you can't say that, that's racist. No, it's not racist to state facts. And if these are the people committing the crimes, then we need to call that out. Because only then do you stop these crimes from occurring again. If you bury your head in the sand, which the government, the media, the council and the police are doing, then these people will think that's a free ticket to go and continue doing it. And that is why there has been a major increase in crime in the UK. It's nothing to do with funding or anything like that. It is simply down to they think they can get away with it. And also we have imported people who come from countries where there is no standards. And now they're bringing those lower standards to this country now. And that is why this country is struggling so much at the moment.
Birmingham bingo. Overflowing bins. Streets like a landfill. Rats getting council tax rebates. In this clip, one fed-up local demands a discount for living in this absolute crap hole. Who's bloody with him?
How are you that I'm in Birmingham without telling you that I'm in Birmingham? It's just disgusting, isn't it? Absolutely disgusting. I mean, surely they've got street cleaners. So please explain to me why they've increased the council tax for multiple years now, with no improvement in the service. It's an absolute crap hole in Birmingham. I think at this point they need to give council tax discounts or reduce it down, because they're not providing any service to anybody in Birmingham right now. Who's with me?
Birmingham bingo. Overflowing bins. Streets like a landfill. Rats getting council tax rebates. In this clip, one fed-up local demands a discount for living in this absolute crap hole. Who's bloody with him?
So guys, I've got to have a bit of a rant here. Why does Birmingham have such a bad reputation everywhere? Like, even here in Romania. Like, I just heard some English accents and I was like, hey, English guys. They're like, yeah. I was like, yeah, me too. I'm like, I'm from Birmingham. They were like, oh, you know, like, beautiful, you know. And then one person I was speaking to, they were like, oh yeah, we travel all around the country, but Birmingham's one place we won't go. And I'm just getting that same repeated sort of like vibe, like, of a lot of people. Like, Birmingham's like a place they don't want to go to and stuff, and it's just like, why? I've lived in Birmingham 15 years and it's like one of the best places on the planet to me. You know, it's safe, it's cultural, it's vibrant. I don't get it. Why is there such a stigma around Birmingham?
Birmingham's global rep. So bad, even Romanians recoil. Like you've said, plague zone. In this clip, one proud Brummie rants it's actually paradise. Safe, vibrant, cultural. Bless his optimism.
As someone who grew up in Germany, the biggest shock I encountered when I came to the UK was when I visited Birmingham, because I truly think I've never seen a city of that size, that deprived and that decaying in Europe ever in my life. I might get all the Brummies mad, or maybe some of you guys will agree, but when I went to Birmingham, which is the second biggest city in the UK, I heard lots of negative things about Birmingham. But I was like, how bad could it be? And I went a few times now, and I generally can say that city, I don't know if it was on purpose kept down, if the council did not give a shit, if in the last 40, 50 years, I don't know what happened, but It's literally a mess. And that's the second biggest city of the UK. It has 1 million inhabitants. At first, I've never seen a city centre that chaotic in a way. I mean, the building designs and the architecture is not matching. The structure doesn't make any sense. The whole city seems like someone designed it and was really not passionate about the city. And this person really thought, let me create a city where people will feel as miserable as possible. Let me create roads that like, and massive like roundabouts, and just put them in a city center. Like, there's so many issues. Like, there's so many layers to this right now, and I don't want to get into all of it, and I don't think maybe I should, because I'm not from here, and maybe I should get my Birmingham friend to talk about this. But honestly, I had a shock. And again, I'm not saying this to like hate on Birmingham on purpose. As someone who's not from the UK, who's from Germany, from Western Germany, and seeing Birmingham was a cultural shock. And I did not expect Birmingham, the second biggest city of the UK, to be in the state it is. And when I met people who grew up in Birmingham telling me their stories, the state of the schools, certain areas, I was even more shocked. And I was like, shit, this is actually bad. What happened? I need to look also more into the whole Birmingham, what happened to Birmingham. But it is truly shocking as an outsider, guys. I really have to tell you.
German tourist expecting tea and crumpets gets Birmingham instead. Decaying chaos, mismatched architecture, endless roundabouts designed by a sadist. In this clip, the outsider's pure culture shock. Welcome to Blighty's second city.
Birmingham City Council has warned that English flags and British flags could put lives at risk. This is after recently seeing so many St George's crosses and Union Jacks being erected all over Birmingham. Now the council have been asked to take them down, as it could put lives at risk. Could put lives at risk. Imagine being from a country where if you put your own country's flag up, it could cause harm to other people. It's all a load of nonsense. I have to say that when I saw these flags being put up all over Birmingham, it made me feel very proud. It's almost stating that Birmingham is an English city. Yet the council, the government, have deemed it to be putting lives at risk. Our St George's Cross, our Union Jack, our heritage, our home, our past and our future. It's 2025. When are we going to stop seeing the English and the British flag as a problem? It is just our identity, and you should never ever be ashamed of that. You should be proud. And no matter what they teach you these days, you should be very, very proud to be British.
Birmingham, 2025. Flying the St George's Cross now, officially a health hazard. In this clip, one patriot rants it's pride versus peril because nothing says British like banning your own flag.